Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Electronics Maddie. In this video I am going to demonstrate design and simulation of a push-pull converter and PSIM. In case you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to it, only then you will get the videos that we post regularly. Alright, let's get started. This is the circuit diagram of a push-pull converter. It is basically a DC to DC converter that has the ability to increase or decrease the voltage based upon the turns ratio in which the transformer is used. The working of a push-pull converter is explained in detail in one of our previous videos. The link will be provided in the description and will also be available in the end screen. In case you would like to see that, you can watch it. Let us start off with our design procedure. Every design will have certain requirements. So these are the requirements that the circuit is designed for. I am assuming it's supply voltage of 50 volt and designing it for an output voltage of 17.5 volt with a power rating of 38.28 watt. The switching frequency that I have chosen for the circuit is 150 kilohertz. So these basically depend upon the type of application that you want to use this converter for. So these are the values that I have taken. Our first step is to determine the duty ratio. So it's given by this formula. Substituting and assuming a turns ratio of N1 by N2 as 2 is to 1, you will be getting D to be equal to 70%. We're just calculating D, but however, since we're using two switches in simulation, we'll be assuming 50% duty cycle just to ensure that when S1 is on, S2 will be off, and when S2 is on, S1. So our second step is to determine the value of inductance Lx. How do we do that? First, we have to find the average current ILX, which is given by V out by R. So that is 2.187 amps. So we are assuming 40% ripple with respect to the inductance that we are designing it for. So delta ILX is equal to zero point 0.4 into 2.187. You will be getting 0.87 amps. So Lx is given by this formula V out into 1 minus D by delta ILX into F. You'll be getting 268.19 microhenry. So this is the value of Lx that we are going to choose. Our next step is to determine the capacitance value. How do we find that? We know that delta V out by V out is equal to 1 minus 2D by 32 F square Lx into C. That is for a push-pull converter. So substituting and assuming it for a ripple of 5%, that is delta V out by V out is assumed to be equal to 0.05 for 5%. So solving this, we will be getting C is equal to 41.42 nanofarad. So these are the values that we have designed the circuit for. So one of the most important things to remember is the value of Lx, the value of C, and the turns ratio of the transformer. So these are some of the most important aspects in this particular design. I hope the design procedure is clear. Once you have a clear picture of the design procedure, let's go to PSIM and start assembly. All right, here we are in PSIM. Our first step is to place the components that we want according to our circuit. So we need a DC voltage source, so place that accordingly. Go to elements, go to power, and go to transformer. Use single phase 4 winding transformer. So this is one of the most commonly involved confusions with respect to students, what type of transformers to choose, because there are a lot of them. So choose single phase 4 winding transformer and you'll exactly get it according to the circuit diagram of a push pull converter. So that gives you a clear picture there. So we'll be using two MOSFETs, isn't it? So connect it in this particular fashion. So once that is done, we'll be connecting it according to the circuit diagram with respect to the primary side. So we need a connector. We'll be connecting it between these 2 points, and the supply is given at this point with respect to the primary windings, and we'll be connecting one of the switches to this point and the other switch at this point, and we'll be completing the circuit at the source end in this particular fashion. We need a ground in order to connect at the primary end, so we'll be connecting at this point and connect this in this particular fashion. Once this is done, we need a diode at the secondary side. Connect this. We need another diode at the secondary side, so connect this in this particular fashion. And we need an inductor, so use an inductor. We need a capacitor, so rotate it. Choose inductor, rotate it by right clicking on the mouse, and we also need a resistor, so right click the resistor in order to rotate that. And once that is done, we'll be connecting it according to our circuit diagram. So we need to connect these 2 points, and from this point we'll be taking the tapping and we'll be giving it to uh, the load in this particular fashion. The diode is connected, the second diode here is connected between these 2 points, so over here in this particular fashion. So inductor is to be connected over here, and capacitor and load is connected in this particular fashion. So once this is done, we need gating blocks for both the MOSFETs, so we will be choosing them separately. And we will be doing some important things with respect to the gating block, like we'll be entering the parameters and they are very important. So at the first place, let us start entering the values with respect to our circuit. 50 volt is our supply, so enter that and close that. Gating block, we are choosing 150 kilohertz as the switching frequency. We'll be triggering this from 0 to 180 degree. So what happens is from 180 degree we'll be triggering the second one, so that at a time only one switch is conducting. So duty ratio will typically be equal to 50%, because one switch will be conducting for a period of 50% of the duty cycle, and the other switch will be conducting for the remaining 50% of the duty cycle. So we have chosen the switching frequency, that is one of the most important things. So change it with respect to this as well. So both of the switching frequencies should be the same with respect to both the switches. And once that is done, now we will be entering the values of the transformer parameters. So we'll be choosing rp1 to be equal to 10 and rp2 to be equal to 10. So we're not making major changes with respect to rs1 and rs2. lp1 will be making slight changes with respect to the leakage inductance. We'll slightly change the values by adding another 0 over here, and once that is done, we'll remain the magnetizing inductance as zero point 0.5, and the primary value of the turns ratio is 2, and second primary with respect to the second conductor is also 2. Secondary, with respect to secondary, it is 1 according to our design. So basically we have choose the turns ratio of 2 is to 1. As a result, with respect to primary we'll enter 2, with respect to secondary we'll enter 1. Once that is done, we'll be entering the inductance value. The inductance value that is chosen according to our circuit is 268.19 micro, so enter that value. And once that is done, we will be using a capacitor with a value of 41.42 nanofarad. So enter 41.42 nano and close that window. We'll be using a resistor, and its value is chosen to be equal to 8 ohm according to our circuit diagram. So enter that as well. So once all of these are entered, we need a simulation control in order to control the runtime of the simulation. So basically we'll leave it as it is, so it will adjust according to the requirements with respect to the circuit. So we will be using probes across the supply terminals and the load terminals in order to measure the waveforms. So connect it between these 2 points in this particular fashion, and we'll be connecting it across the source terminal in order to measure the source voltage, and the load terminals in order to measure the load voltage. In case you would like to see any currents through the circuit, you can connect it in series by using the ammeter probe in series with the circuit. Now let's click on run simulation. So the time step has been automatically changed according to the circuit. Click on OK. Now we'll be seeing the supply and the load voltage. So we will be zooming in the waveform. Let's zoom in the waveform with respect to that we've got. So we are getting somewhere around 16.3 and 16.2. The mean value looks like 16.2, and we're not getting 17.5. The reason is very simple. If you click on this transformer, this is a practical transformer. The components in PSIM are ideal, but in case of this particular circuit, we are using a practical transformer. So when we are using that, there are so many drops across the resistances, primary resistances, secondary resistances, leakage inductances, so magnetization inductances. So there are a lot of drops, and that is resulting to a voltage drop of approximately 1.2 volts, I believe. So that is the reason why we're not getting 17.5. However, you're getting something closer to it, and it is a DC voltage if you carefully observe. So we are approximately getting the voltage with respect to our circuit, and this is how we'll basically be simulating the circuit with respect to PSIM. I hope you have a clear understanding of simulating push-pull converter in PSIM. In case you have any questions, feel free to reach out by typing in your questions in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thanks for watching this video. Please do keep supporting.